Available in paperback at e-readers, Isis, Dark Incubus. The goddess next door gets enthralled in a romantic entanglement with an evil incubus in this all-new Isis series adventure. Get your copy of Isis, Dark Incubus in paperback and e-readers today. A Florida teen is in custody after being accused of attacking and violating multiple teenage girls after they allegedly denied him sex.
Developing now, detectives call a high school student a predator, seen here, accused of raping, videotaping, and blackmailing multiple teenage girls. 18-year-old Raphael Lerner from Orlando faces more than a dozen charges tonight, and more charges could be coming. Detectives believe he has hurt more victims that are too afraid to come forward, but they may now because he's locked up. Channel 9's Valerie Boy is live, and Valerie, the arrest report describes in detail how he terrorized and even strangled girls he met at school.
Yeah, it's very disturbing, Greg, and deputies say those incidents date back to 2020, but it all came to a stop, and he is now in jail after someone tipped off a school resource officer.
How do you say your last name?
O'Reilly, ma'am.
18-year-old Raphael O'Reilly Lerner is accused of raping, choking, slapping, and spitting on a teenage girl and recording the incident. Investigators say he then threatened to post the video online and show her parents if she told anyone or tried to leave him.
Alleged victim is 17 years old.
The arrest report states it happened several times at his home off Pine Shade Court in Dr. Phillips, and even his car. Neighbors were stunned.
I saw when he was getting cuffed, the dad came out. About an hour later, the tow truck company came and towed the vehicle.
It's very upsetting. Thank God we don't have no girls around in the house.
Investigators also say he sexually assaulted a 19-year-old and forced a 16-year-old to send explicit pictures saying he was part of a gang and knew where she lived.
I don't want him on the internet or being able to photograph or send images to the alleged victims.
We tried talking to O'Reilly Lerner's parents, but no one answered the door. Investigators say his tactics are emotionally and physically brutal. He coerces them into sex, becomes extremely violent, and videotapes his victims during the incidents, then threatens to expose them.
It's stunning. It's sad. It's like a young kid and already in that kind of trouble.
And the judge ordered O'Reilly Lerner to be held in jail on no bond. If you know anyone who has been victimized by him, call OCSO non-emergency line. That number is 407-836-HELP. Again, 407-836-HELP, and a detective will get back to you. Reporting live in Orange County, Valerie Boy for Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
Valerie, thank you. Neighbors in College Park tell us they've also spotted a man who was recently released from jail for attacking a jogger. Tyler Fight got out on a plea deal for the April incident. The woman in that case says he grabbed her as she ran past him on Northumberland Avenue. Fight has been told not to have any contact with the victim and not to be within 3 blocks of that area. He was originally arrested for attempted sexual battery. State Attorney Monique Worrell said to us that they had no proof his attack was sexual. Fight plans to plead to battery charges.
He walked here freely, and I was shocked. I said, oh, he was released. I met him face to face.
Did he say anything to you?
No, he looked weird. He still look weird too, and like that.
Orlando police say anyone who sees him in the College Park neighborhood should call police.
Now, according to reports from the Orange County, Florida Sheriff's Office, 18-year-old Raphael O'Reilly Lerner was taken into custody on December 9th as related to an alleged incident with a 17-year-old girl that was reported to school officials that took place on November 21st. Now, according to these reports, Raphael O'Reilly Lerner allegedly got into an argument with this girl before he asked for sex, and when the girl said no, this is where Raphael O'Reilly Lerner allegedly grabbed the girl by the neck and then by the back of the head and threatened her, and then also threatened to leak photos and videos of the girl if she did not engage in sexual acts with him and those threats were also sent over text messages. And further, according to these reports, this is where Raphael O'Reilly Lerner allegedly had sexual encounters with the victim, where he physically assaulted the victim, spoke to her in a derogatory manner, and violated her and strangled her when she refused to participate in sexual acts for a second time. And this is all part of a very disturbing pattern as related to Raphael O'Reilly Lerner, because another 19-year-old also alleges that Raphael O'Reilly Lerner allegedly participated in sexual battery on her in a similar pattern of ingratiating himself to her, coercing her into a sexual act, becoming extremely violent, and videotaping and photographing the sexual act they did, then threatening and to expose the videos publicly to the parents. And that's all part of a predatory pattern of behavior that has taken place allegedly since 2020. Now, a 16-year-old is alleging that Raphael O'Reilly Lerner threatened her in order to get sexually explicit images in 2023, and another woman, he was arrested with a domestic battery in 2020. And looking at the pattern of Raphael O'Reilly Lerner, it's clear to me that this isn't an isolated incident, and Raphael O'Reilly Lerner's alleged behavior definitely fits the pattern and profile for beta males that I talk about in my book, The Man Crisis. And when I look at the alleged pattern of behavior that Raphael O'Reilly Lerner is alleged to have participated in, it definitely fits within the chapters that I present, talking about the sexual frustration of the beta male and the sexual deviancy of the beta male. And when it comes to this male, basically, he's learned a pattern of sexual predation as a way to have interactions with women. Now, this boy, I'm believing, possibly was exposed to adult entertainment or pornography at an early age, and because he was exposed to this media at an early age, it wound up basically warping this young boy and putting him on a road to not seeing women as people, but to see a woman as a sexual object, because when young children are exposed to pornography at an early age, they basically learn to become extremely detached as related to, again, the act of sex. And when they become detached like this, they become very jaded and very warped by the media that they're seeing. And because they don't have a good understanding of what sex really is and what sex is really about, because a sexual act is supposed to bring two people together in a relationship to become closer to each other. But when you have a beta male who's been exposed to adult media at an early age, what happens is, instead of learning to become closer to another person in a relationship, what they learn is to just see another person as an object, as related to gratifying their own twisted perception of pleasure. And as they look to gratify their own twisted perception of pleasure, it becomes not an act of coming together and getting closer to another person, but becomes an act about being able to get power by looking to dominate and humiliate another person. And that's possibly what I believe happened to this 18-year-old boy. He basically, I believe, was exposed to pornography and adult entertainment at an early age, and as he was exposed to that media, he basically started to escalate his behavior, possibly watching more deviant sexual material, and possibly as he watched more deviant sexual material, he then looked to interact with real women. And as he looked to interact with real women, this is where his twisted and perverted perception turned him into a predator looking to prey allegedly on women by ingratiating himself to the young women. Then, as he ingratiated himself to those young women, coercing him into sex, And as he got into those sexual acts, becomes violent as he's videotaping these women. Again, videotaping these women and getting pleasure from seeing them humiliated. And as he humiliates them, he threatens with further giving them humiliation by exposing them as related to making them feel sexual shame for having sex with him by, again, exposing these videos publicly to their parents. This is a pattern of pathological behavior that Raphael O'Reilly Lerner possibly has participated in over the course of 3 women at a very young age, and again has been escalating his behavior according to some reports to again include weapons. And when I look at this pattern of behavior, it's definitely looking to me like this guy is fitting within the pattern that I've seen with other serial killers. Basically, again, when it comes to these men, again, they are looking to gain power by humiliating women, and eventually they go from looking to participate in looking to violate women to looking to possibly look to take the life of a woman, because they get pleasure from seeing women suffer. They get pleasure from seeing women suffer as they use their penises as weapons, and they get pleasure from seeing women broken down and humiliated. And eventually what happens is that as they become even more desensitized, the pleasure they get from humiliating women escalates into looking to see the life leave a woman's eyes, or to see a woman's body basically be cut apart. Again, these men basically are some of the most depraved males as related to the entire group of beta males, and they are a clear and present danger that are around us in this country. Now, what's really disturbing to me as related to this case is the age of this young man, who is just 18 years old. And this fits in a more disturbing pattern that I've seen with the man crisis, where I'm seeing the ages of these beta males get progressively younger and seeing these younger people participating in more violent acts, a pattern that I have been seeing taking place ever since the pandemic took place, seeing that the ages of these individuals, which again back in the days was in their 30s, now is in the teens, and again shows me how much worse the man crisis is getting in this country, shows me how much worse things are getting in this country as related to the man crisis, and it shows me that many of these boys basically are not getting the male life skills or male survival skills because and even worse, there's no sort of parental supervision, and because there's no parental supervision whatsoever, what's happening is that these kids are being put in front of computers and cell phones, and as they're being put in front of these computers and cell phones, they're not getting any parental guidance or parental supervision. And what's happening is what happened here, I believe, to Raphael O'Reilly Lerner, in that he was possibly put in front of a computer with no supervision, started watching this adult entertainment, and then after he's watching this pornography, then started to escalate his behavior by looking for more deviant pornography, as he's basically again become desensitized to just regular sexual acts, and then looking to explore more deviant sexual acts. And as he looked to explore those more deviant sexual acts, he then possibly went out here watching things like sodomy, things like BDSM, things like videos where women are humiliated and degraded, because eventually what happens with those who consume adult entertainment is eventually many people become desensitized, and in order to find any sort of sexual pleasure, they wind up looking for more extreme content. And I believe after looking for that extreme content, it just didn't do it for him anymore at an early age. And then he went out here looking to interact with real women, and again, didn't know how to have a healthy relationship with a woman, but took his perverted and twisted pattern of behavior into the world, and that's where he looked to abuse women. And I want you to understand, this young man was looking to abuse many of the girls he had gotten involved with. They thought they were getting into a relationship with a teenage boy, but they were dealing with a predator who was looking to abuse them and humiliate them, and again got his gratification from seeing women broken down, seeing women in pain, seeing women suffer. And that's how this guy got his pleasure, by again not only attacking these women, then using his penis as a weapon. He also got pleasure by videotaping these women and making these women suffer by threatening them, by saying that he would expose them in these videos, expose them as related to an intimate act that they never agreed to, again, consensually. Many of these girls, again, 17, 19, again, they didn't agree to this consensually. No, they were coerced by an antisocial individual who basically learned sexual predation at an early age. And as he learned sexual predation at an early age, he basically again wreaked havoc in his Florida area. And thank God many people were able to catch this individual. Many of them were able to catch this individual before he could further do harm to other women, because again, from my years of research, I know that these guys, they eventually escalate their behavior into looking to take the life of a woman, and because violating her is just not enough after a while. And thank God this man was caught before he could do harm to another woman, and now is on the way to possibly to a jail cell in the county jail, and eventually, if he is convicted, will be on his way to the penitentiary, where he deserves to be if these allegations are true, and will deserve everything he gets when the COs look the other way, and let him feel the tender mercies of Bubba, Tiny, Roscoe, Big Dave, Melvin, and Mr. Sprinkles, as they basically have him reap what he sowed, later than what he sowed, greater than what he sowed, as he's basically violated himself in the front side and the back side by big carbon rods, as he's traded for Little Debbie snack cakes, ramen noodles, packets of Crystal Light lemonade, packets of Crystal Light tea, off-brand lemon lime drink, off-brand orange drink, off-brand grape drink, off-brand fruit punch, off-brand Oreo cookies, off-brand duplex cookies, off-brand vanilla wafers, off-brand ginger snaps, off-brand chocolate cookies, off-brand chocolate chip cookies, off-brand sugar wafers, beef summer sausage, beef jerky with cheese, Fritos chips, hot flamin' Cheetos, hot and sour pickles, packets of soy sauce, packets of sriracha sauce, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle pies, bags of honey mustard. I mean, this dude is basically gonna wind up getting his front side and his back side completely turned out, as they turn the tight end into a wide receiver, and then Mr. Sprinkles will come in and basically spray the backside with special sauce, and then call all the guys from Cell Block D to show this guy's backside looking like the inside of a Louisiana crunch cake. And that's where justice will be served to this alleged sexual predator. That's where he will get complete justice and basically suffer the way he made his victim suffer. And when it comes to this whole situation, again, what scares me is the age of this individual. Again, only 18 years old, and he's participating in deviancy on this level. And again, I thank God that this guy was stopped before he could escalate his behavior even further, because again, according to some reports, he was using weapons, and again, that eventually turns into a pattern of looking to either take the life of a woman or look to participate in a pattern of serial killing. Again, when it comes to these type of males, they are the most dangerous ones as related to the whole group of beta males, and they are clear and present danger around us in this country because many parents, again, don't supervise their children on places like the internet, and sadly many parents don't know the introduction to adult media at a young age can turn a boy from growing up to become a healthy man to basically putting him on a tragic road to winding up becoming a man in crisis like this. Now, if you want to learn how to identify the behavior of a beta male, or basically try to stop a young man from winding up on that road to becoming a beta male, you can pick up my book, The Man Crisis, on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find it at other online booksellers like Draft to Digital, Google Play, Barnes & Noble, and big box retailers like Walmart and Target. And if you want to see me make more videos talking about the man crisis and what's scary about this man crisis, you can drop a donation to the Patreon, the PayPal, or the Cash App to help me stay on the air. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and e-readers, Esteem Horror in the Hamptons. The aspiring angel tries to escape a house of horrors in this action-packed, all-new Esteem series adventure. Get your copy of Esteem Horror in the Hamptons in paperback and e-readers at online booksellers everywhere. Now available in paperback and Kindle Unlimited, The Man Crisis. Learn why so many men are struggling to find their way in an increasingly gynocentric world in The Man Crisis. Get your copy of The Man Crisis in paperback and Kindle Unlimited today. Support Black-owned and Black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.